How was BC? How did we do when we responded to that tsunami warning? Greg Harper, live this morning in Port Coquitlam with BC's Minister of Public Safety. Greg?
That's right. Good morning, Kyle. Mike Farnworth here to the right of me. Thanks for doing this. When were you notified about what was happening, and then what did you do?
I was notified at 2 o'clock, just before 2 o'clock this morning, by my deputy minister, who informed me that the earthquake had happened, that there was a tsunami warning in place for west coast of British Columbia, and immediately I'm told that we're involved in terms of implementing emergency management in British Columbia's plan for this event, which means notifying local communities so that they can implement their plan and get warnings out to the general public, to communities that need to be evacuated to get to higher ground, and then was kept updated on what was taking place through the course of the night.
Now, I know there was an emergency center that was set up in Tofino, and I know it's early right now, but how do you feel that this warning was handled?
I think the staff, both at the local and provincial level, did an amazing job. The reports I've heard is that, in communities such as Esquimalt, you had first responders, firefighters going door to door in the low-lying areas. Communities were contacted right up and down the coast. Communities such as Queen Charlotte City, for example, in Haida Gwaii, there was a full evacuation take place. In Tofino, Ucluelet, other communities, the alarms sounded. People were notified by phone, by text, to get to their local emergency center, and everything I've seen to date says that people responded and did what they were supposed to do, which was to get to higher ground and get to those emergency centers.
How do you conduct a review on something like this to perhaps maybe look at something and say, well, maybe we can do that different next time, if there is a next time?
Yeah, well, certainly this is not, there will be a next time. We live in an earthquake tsunami zone. People in this province are aware of that. So what Emergency British Columbia will be doing, Emergency Management BC will be doing, is looking at what happened from the moment we were first notified right through to the lifting of the warning, working with local communities in terms of how their emergency preparedness plans were implemented. Are there things that we could improve on? This was a real run, and obviously there will be lessons to be learned from it, but from what I've heard so far, I'm very pleased at the way the province, the local communities and the public responded.
Do you think British Columbians are prepared for the big one?
This is one of those things that's a wake-up call for people, not just in terms of the province and their plans and local governments and their emergency plans, but also for the public to realize we live in an earthquake and tsunami zone, and that they need to have a plan in their own house, how to get their family out, what to do when the big one strikes, whether it's an earthquake or whether it's a tsunami. In the case of an earthquake, for example, having an earthquake kit in place, everybody knows where it is, having 72 hours worth of water in the house, bottled water on hand to be able to ride out that first 72 hours, to be aware that when those warnings of a tsunami, for example, are you get one, it's real. You don't sit back and go, oh, it's not going to happen. The fact is they do happen, and they will happen again.
I know you said earlier not to call 911. You were urging British Columbians not to do that. Was that taking place after this warning was issued?
There were people phoning 911, and the reality is 911 is to deal with life-threatening emergencies. So if there was a tsunami and people were injured, that's what 911 is there for. There are local websites. Emergency Preparedness BC has a website that will give all the full information. Social media, they're providing information. That's the place. Watching local television, for example, listening to the radio, those are all great ways to get information. 911 is not the right way.